Kids are resilient, and if we reach them fast enough. I was speaking to Terry Parker. 400 kids were there, and I didn't know I was supposed to. I didn't know I was going to be asked to speak when I got there. The speaker didn't show up, and they ran up to me. Mr. Heymann, would you give a few words? And I said, you're kidding me. There's a panel up there. No, we want you to. So I said, go get me a basketball. It's the only thing I could think of real quick, and I've used that basketball. I should have brought it. I have used that basketball so many times, and I took a needle. I asked them to get me an inflatable needle, and I took some air out of it, but I didn't take a lot out. Just enough so that you could squeeze it, but it didn't lose its shape. So I was up there, and I asked a kid to come up and spin the ball, and I did a lesson on how fast you are traveling right now, 1,046 miles an hour at the equator, and in Florida you're traveling 740 miles an hour to be at the same place 24 hours later. At the North Pole, you're not traveling at all. It takes you 24 hours to do this. 24 hours. So the earth is a screaming testimony that we were all on the move. Some are covering a lot more ground with the same amount of time than others. And I told the kids, I said, you can go home tonight and say, Mom, I am wiped out. I cannot do my homework. I've been traveling 740 miles an hour all day long. And she can say, well, you're not going to eat tonight because I've been traveling 740 miles an hour and I'm too tired to cook you a meal. Anyhow, all that to say, what I really wanted to teach them, I took the ball and I said to another kid, I said, you can dribble real good? He goes, oh, yeah, I can dribble real good. I said, take the ball and dribble. And so, everybody in the audience is figuring they're going to, between the legs. He pushed the ball down and it went plop. And it didn't bounce back up. I said, whoa, there's something wrong with this ball. I picked it up and I said, I have a lot of courses and degrees behind my name, but I have learned something from you kids nobody has taught me. And that is, this ball is depressed. It doesn't have enough pressure. It's depressed. So when it gets pushed down, it doesn't bounce back up. And a basketball is supposed to bounce back up when you push it down. In fact, if you push it down harder, it's supposed to bounce back, and 400 kids yelled, higher. That's right. That's who you are. And I have never met a kid, whether they're in elementary school, playground, high school, college, or pros, that when they're standing on the foul line and there's only 1 second left in the game and they got fouled and they're down by 1 point, meaning they get to take 2 shots. If they make one of them, they tie the game. If they make both, they win. If they make neither one, they lose the game. I have never seen one of you kids ever stand at the foul line and say, this is too much pressure. I can't do it. Mom, please take me off the court. Or get on their one knee and say, God, why have you put me in this situation? The kids were all laughing when I was doing it. I said, now remember, young people, you got half the bleachers cheering for your success at that moment when you stand toe-to-toe with failure. And you got the other half of the bleachers hoping you'll miss both shots. Right? And they shook their head yes. I said, get used to it. That's life. Half the bleachers will cheer for you, and half will not cheer for you, and you don't need Ritalin to deal with it. You need more pressure, not less. Because you're like a basketball. You are resilient, and you have been made to bounce back. I still get chills because the kids responded so well that day. You realize how many kids? We feed methylphenidate 5 times the amount of the rest of the world put together. That's Ritalin. Now, that doesn't mean that no kid needs no medication. I'm not saying that. I'm not a doctor. But I bet you a lot of them don't. They need a significant person in their life that's going to make a difference in their life and develop that relationship. Every child needs and deserves a meaningful relationship with a significant adult. I worry too much, and I'll end the part on kids. I worry too much about why children don't smile as they grow older. I was at Johnny Ford, and I was watching kids eat their breakfast. Of course, it was a free breakfast for many of them. And I went over, and, I rubbed the top of the kid's hair was adorable. And he goes, do you want my orange? He had an orange. Do you want my orange? I said, no, I don't want your orange. I knelt down, so eye level. It didn't seem to be ominous to him. Because I'm only tall when I'm in front of first graders. So I had to speak at Rains High School that afternoon. And when you look at a first grader, not a Rains High School, when you look at a first grader and you smile at them, they smile right back. Kindergarten, they smile right back. You go to a 10th grader, and if you smile at them, They think you're weird. They wonder why you're smiling at them. They don't smile back often, because if they don't know you, they're not going to smile. What happened from 1st grade to 10th grade is not a child problem. It's an adult problem. Somebody took something from that kid in some form or fashion where he does not or she does not trust adults. And it's our job as significant people to alter that. So when they see us walking into a school or into a church or through our nonprofit, they smile because you're there. And so my third point is, who are we in this game? I brought do you remember these? 45. Yeah. B.J. Thomas, Hooked on a Feeling. It's a great song. I love this. I got a bunch of these. I have Peter Pan here, too. And I have The Lovin' Spoonful, Rain on the Roof. You and me. Never mind, I'm not going to sing to you. But I also have this 8-track. Some of us are probably old enough to remember our car where we actually installed an 8-track player. We didn't just screw it to the bottom, but we installed it in the dashboard. Oh, we were cool when we did that. I had a 65 GTO with an installed 8-track. Whoa. 3 2-barrels, 4-speed Hurst convertible. Anyhow, we'll leave that one alone. They're expensive these days. This is Engelbert Humperdinck. That was my mom's favorite guy, besides George Beverly Shea. This is who she loved to listen to. And this is an 8-track. Well, you and I are like this, and we are like this. We want the music that comes from this. We don't want this, because this doesn't do anything for you. And Hooked on a Feeling is a song. In other words, this is the vehicle used to bring the message to the children. This is the physical vehicle. We don't care if it's this or a cassette or a CD or a DVD or even all the digital stuff that's coming out these days. Those are vehicles to bring the message to us. Meaning the music, the songs, the movies. Ladies and gentlemen, you and I are the vehicles to bring the message to the next generation. And they need it. They need it from people that smile, that love. They need it from people that have the absolute answer with certainty. What on earth am I doing on the earth? Bruce Valvik was my youth pastor, my Lutheran church up in New Jersey. He was my youth pastor. And I remember him pulling me in the office because even though I was adopted by a wonderful family, I didn't live with wonderful decisions in my teenage years. And I remember him pulling me aside one day and telling me that he knew some of the stuff. And to today, I don't know how he found out, because we were pretty secret, our group. We were like an undercover group that did not very nice things. But I remember him telling me that. But I remember him saying this to me, and I love Bruce. He actually was killed in a car accident by a drunk driver. His wife is still alive, connected with her on Facebook, which I think is pretty cool. Facebook can be used for good things. Anyhow, I remember Bruce sitting in his office and saying, you know, John, you're like that horse. And I said, what horse? He said, you know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. John, I have poured my heart and soul into you. Anyhow, I remember him telling me that. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. But then I recall, and he didn't say this, but I recall somebody telling me this years after, and I thought of him. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. But you can feed him salt. Bruce Valvik was the salt in my life. And the Bible says that ye are the salt of the earth. Thank you for your time.